Chapter 5. Hubert and Benny waited until nightfall to make their great escape. Now, about around the time of, midnight, Hubert and Benny got up and had to make their way through the common area of the fortress. Now, in this tribe, everyone likes to sleep around the king, so there are bodies all over the floor. And so, Benny began to quickly tiptoe throughout all the bodies trying to get around. Hubert was having a little bit of a harder time, and at one point, he actually tripped. Oh, Benny, no! And he tripped, and Benny picked him up and put him on his shoulders and caught him and started tiptoeing with Hubert on his shoulders. Hubert's not very coordinated. And so, finally, they made their way across the sea of bodies and got to the stairway that led to the top of the wall. Now, on top of the wall, there were many guards, but most of them were asleep, but there was always a few that were awake, keeping watch. Now, Benny had a plan for this. He pulled out his blowgun and went to town. One by one, all the guards started dropping almost silently, hitting the floor, not really making too much noise, and finally, there was a clear path to get off of the wall. So Benny ran up, found a loose vine, pulled it out of a tree that was hanging over, tied it to the wall, and threw it down. Now, Hubert didn't like that he was left out of the daring escape, so he said, "Hey, let me try." And he grabbed that blowgun right out of Benny's shirt, turned around, and shot a guard right in the neck. Great shot, by the way. Unfortunately, the guard was standing right next to the edge, and he fell into a big armory. Whoosh! Huge crash. Everyone started waking up, wondering what was going on. They saw them on top of the wall and said, "Get them!" And so Benny and Hubert jumped down that vine, swung down like Tarzan, and slapped their booties running off into that forest. And Hubert was like, "Ha, I'm getting out of here!" And he's running faster. And then he tripped and tumbled off a cliff. But Hubert, he didn't really expect this to happen, but he'd actually gotten his arm caught in a tree that was growing out of the side of the cliff. But the impact made him hit, and the diadem went flying off his head down into the far trenches below. Now Benny, being a benevolent young man, looked down and said, "Oh sure, I'll get you." So he went down and used his strange, crazy strength and grabbed Hubert and pulled him back up. He was, "Oh, thank you, Benny. You saved my life. You should have done it faster." Now, at this time, the tribe had showed up. So they turned around. Hubert looked at them. Then he looked at Benny. Then he looked back at them. Then he back at Benny. And then he said, "Benny, I'm sorry, but I have to live. So, see ya." So he said, "How dare you try to kidnap me?" But he's like, "Sure, what are you doing?" He picked him up and threw him off the cliff. He said, "He tried to kidnap me," and Benny went tumbling down the cliff. Now the tribespeople were like, "Oh, of course you want to stay." He said, "Well, that's not really true either. I was actually wanting to, just go get a drink at the local tavern, and I'll be back later." And "Oh, no, you stay." He said, "No, that's okay. You stay!" So they grabbed him, carried him off. Hubert screaming all the way like a little girl. "I want to go!" And they tied him to a boulder. And thus ends Hubert's tale. But not Benny's. You all probably thought he was dead. Wrong! Benny, when he tumbled down the cliff, landed in the river, and because of his portly, thick body, didn't take too much damage. So he waddled his way onto the land, and little could he believe the diadem was right there in front of him. So he picked it up and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna make use of this." So he went back to his village, sold it, became famous for finding the lost diadem, and he gave his grandmother 50 new cows. That's a lot. And and Benny lived the rest of his days out of poverty. Wasn't that great? I hope you enjoyed it. And thus ends the story of the Lost Diadem. Please join us next time for our great adventures in dreamweaving with Carter. Hey guys, this is the Dreamweaving with Carter team. We've got Daniel here, Preston, howdy, Hannah, hi, Josh, our famous guitar player, and me, Carter. And we would just like to thank you all for joining us on our little journey through these various stories. We've been enjoying making them for you, and we're excited to give you some new stuff next year. So, from us to you, happy holidays!